Welcome to Waste Diversion 101. My name is Cameron Hawkins, and I am the Waste Diversion Director with the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council. Without these sponsors, any of our waste diversion work would not be possible, and for them we are very grateful. What are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about a zero waste program background, sustainable events, how to dispose of common items, how to set up a sustainability and DIY station, and how you can reduce waste at home. The mission of the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council is to be a resource and catalyst for building a sustainable community, and we do this through education programs and by building collaboration among individuals, organizations, businesses, and government. So here's a little history of the Zero Waste program. As you can see, the concept of the Zero Waste Station has stayed the same since the program was started in 2010. And today, we are still doing these stations. However, they're going to look a little bit different this year. Because we do not have composting in our community, we will no longer be offering compost at these events. So instead, we will have trash and recycling. So each station that you see at any event that you're working or attending, there will be a trash can or a recycle bin as long as YVSC is coordinating those efforts. So I want you to take a minute to think, what does waste diversion mean to you? You can brainstorm this in your mind, write down some ideas, and everyone has a different perspective of what waste diversion means, but ultimately we're in it for the same reason. For the same goal, which is to divert waste from the landfill. So think about what it means to you and why you're interested in learning more about waste diversion. Why waste diversion? So landfilling paper, food, and organic materials releases methane, which is 86 times as harmful as carbon dioxide. And you can see two molecules here. You see methane and you see carbon dioxide. Methane on the left and carbon dioxide on the right. And so the reason that methane is so much more harmful is because of the four molecules that are attached to carbon. These molecules can move in many different directions, whereas carbon dioxide can only move in a couple, up and down or back and forth, thus making it easier for other molecules to bind onto the methane molecule, making it more harmful than carbon dioxide. So in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the first place that we're going to look is in the garbage can. This is the easiest step and something that we can all do every day in our lives. And so by decreasing our impact, we are increasing our quality of life. How long until it's gone? You may wonder how long it takes for common items to break down in the landfill. So here's some examples. A styrofoam cup, it takes 50 years. A plastic grocery bag, 10 to 20 years for one grocery bag. A tin can takes 50 years. A disposable diaper takes 450 years. These are just a few of the items listed, but these are all items that there are alternative things that we can use instead of these disposable single-use items. For example, instead of using a styrofoam cup, choose a reusable cup. If you're going to buy coffee at Starbucks or another coffee joint, then purchase or buy a reusable cup and bring that to hold your coffee in each time. Instead of using a plastic grocery bag, try using a reusable bag. Instead of using a disposable diaper, you can use cloth diapers. And instead of using a plastic water bottle, bring a reusable water bottle. So those are just a few ideas of what we'll be talking about and some ways that you can keep these items out of the landfill. So why is waste diversion important for Routt County? For many people, for many visitors, it's their first impression of our community. So we want to show them that we care about where we live and the beautiful environment that we live in. so that they will respect and take care of our environment as well. We want to exhibit our commitment to keeping our high mountain air clean and our rivers pure and our forests healthy. Again, so that they will have the same value and keep this in their mind while they're enjoying our environment. We want to preserve our beautiful valley for future generations. We want our kids and our grandkids to enjoy this Yampa Valley just as much as we have for the duration of their lives. And harder to dispose of items due to geographical location it's difficult to dispose of hard to recycle items, for example, electronics and other items that have to be disassembled and taken elsewhere because of where we live in our rural environment. And so a sustainable materials management plan is important, and it's important to educate our community on the life cycle of items and not just thinking about it from a consumer perspective, but what is going to happen to these items after their life has ended. So this is our vision for zero waste. Our first goal is to educate the public. We also want people to get involved. And when we're working with event coordinators, our goal is to have them purchasing with the environment in mind and reducing and keeping as much as they can from the landfill. So no plastic bags, keeping plastic bags out of the landfill and encouraging people to use reusable bags. No styrofoam and leaving no trace. So when you're going to a free concert or another event in town, pack out what you bring in. And then we hope that locals and visitors will take this concept home and implement the idea of zero waste in their home. So the role of our volunteers. Volunteers are the most important piece of making these zero waste events possible. They will be the face of waste diversion at our events, and they will be manning the trash and recycle bins and helping the community know which bin to put these items in. If you have any questions while you're working at one of these events, feel free to ask the site coordinator, who will be there to happy to answer any of your questions. So now we're going to go through our 3 haulers and talk a little bit about the items that are accepted in single stream recycling. So many people are unaware of exactly what can go in single stream recycling. So if you have ACES High Recycling, first of all, for any of these haulers, the best thing to do is to either reference their guide that they have on their website or to call them directly. Because if your recycling bin is contaminated, it's most likely going to go in the trash. But if you can keep that contamination level down, then it's going to be going through the single stream recycling, sorted, and sent to market based on the material. So for ACES High, some of the big things is please do not put, and all recyclers actually this is true, please do not put your recyclables in a plastic bag. If your recyclables are in a plastic bag, it's going to automatically go to the landfill. There are some nuances with each recycling company. For example, ACES High does not accept plastic lids or caps. So, on that juice carton, take off the plastic lid. On your water bottle, take off the plastic lid. Anything that has a plastic lid, that plastic lid must go in the trash, but the rest of it is most likely able to go in the recycling. No styrofoam or paper-to-go boxes or cups are accepted in single-stream recycling, along with shredded paper and plastic bags. This whole list of no things on the side are there for you to reference if ACES High is your recycling company that you use. Please reference their guidelines on their website. Twin Enviro, they accept all of these items in their single stream. So if you have any specific questions about what Twin Enviro can or cannot accept, please contact them. They do say to please remove all lids and place them separately in a container. So unlike ACES, you need to take off the caps of your juice carton or your water bottle and it can be recycled, but it needs to be separate. Waste management is the other hauler in our community, and they have their own set of guidelines, although they are very similar to the previous two haulers. They indicate that they do not include food waste films, plastic bags, plastic wraps, foam cups, or containers in their single stream recycling. Again, if you have any questions specific to waste management, please contact them directly. Trash. At our sustainable event stations, we use the motto, when in doubt, throw it out. For example, all plastic silverware is always going to be trash. Plates that are covered in plastic are also going to be trash. Any item that is a multi-material, so in this case, it's plastic and paper, is going to be trash. Any styrofoam clamshells or styrofoam cups or any styrofoam in general or other food containers that have food still in it, they are always going to be trash. And then plastic straws and candy bar wrappers or granola bar wrappers or energy bar wrappers, those are all trash. And then plastic bags are always trash unless you choose to recycle them properly at either City Market or Safeway. Compost. Because we do not have an industrial composter in our community anymore, there are several ways that you can do home composting. You could either find a farmer or a rancher that is willing to take your food scraps, or you could do this at your home. You could do vermicomposting or use a bokashi indoor composter. So on the right, you see the worms. Those are red worms, which are used to break down organic material. So with vermicomposting, the red worms break down the food waste by pooping it out, and their poop is actually the soil, which is super nutrient dense and can be applied on your garden or in your lawn. Bokashi composter it ferments the food waste and it breaks it down into usable soil. And this uses bacteria. Because of where we live in bear country, we have to be really careful and mindful about what we're putting in our composter. You don't want your neighbors to be upset because you're attracting the bears with the food waste in your backyard. So please be mindful and use a contained, preferably indoor composting facility. How to dispose of common items. These are several items that we will see at events or you might see in your everyday life, but you're not sure if they're recyclable or not. We're going to start with a coffee cup. Coffee cups can be confusing because each item is different. The lids are generally recyclable as long as they have the number 1 through 7 in the Mobius on the lid. In this case, the sleeve, because it's made out of paper, is recyclable. The cup itself, however, is trash, and that is because it's got plastic on the inside and paper on the outside. So just to clarify, any material that is a multi-material or two materials together is trash because it can't go to market as paper and it can't go to market as plastic because the two materials are combined. Thus, the item needs to go in the trash. Another question is, what does the colored stripe on the cup indicate? On the left, you see a cup with a green stripe. This green stripe indicates compost. However, since we are not composting in our community, this cup needs to go in the trash. On the right, you see a blue stripe. This blue stripe means that the cup is made of recyclable materials and thus it can go in the recycling bin. However, please dump the liquid out first. Plastic cups. Plastic cups, always look at the bottom to make sure that it has the number 1 through 7 recycling Mobius symbol on it. The flat plastic lids generally are recyclable, again, making sure it has the number 1 through 7 on the lid. However, the domed lids are not recyclable, so they must be put in the trash. Again, straws are always trash. What to do with plastic film? Plastic film at these events will go in the trash. However, if you're at home and you have plastic recycling, then you can collect these plastic bags and take them to either City Market or Safeway locally to be disposed of properly. Wrappers, bags, and drink pouches. So these are all going to be trash. Some other items you might see is gum. This needs to go in the trash. Gum theoretically can go in the compost, but it takes a really long time for it to break down. And then diapers and dog waste. These are always trash, and please do not touch these items, but have the person who is disposing of them properly place them in the trash can themselves. How to set up a sustainability station. This year, since we are not doing composting, we are calling these stations sustainable stations instead of zero waste stations. In order to set up the station, you will first take the tent and pull it apart by 2 of the poles. And then once you get it stable, you can push it up in the middle, as you see in the middle photo. Then you want to push the joints up so that the top clicks into place. Once the tent is set, you will take one of the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council banners and Velcro it over the zero waste sign. There might only be enough for it to be placed over one side of the tent, so make sure it's the most forward-facing side of the tent. When we're setting up our bins, we put the recycling on the right. So recycle on the right and trash on the left, and that is from the viewpoint of the customer. So if somebody's walking up to you to throw away their waste, the recycling should be on the right and the trash should be on the left. And then we have these covers that you'll put over the bins to make sure that people have a little bit more time to think about which bin their item goes in. And then we'll put the signs and the banners up. So behind each of the bins, you'll put the trash and the recycle sign. Here it shows the compost sign, but instead of the compost, we will put the trash. Those are on stakes, and they will be placed in the back of the bin, between the lid and the bin itself. And then behind the banner, or behind the tent, you'll hang up either the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council banner or the 2017 Waste Diversion Sponsors banner. Each tent should always have a sponsors banner, and if you choose to put up the YVSC banner as well, feel free. To connect the banner to the tent, you must use either the bungees provided or tape. Please do not use the zip ties unless it is an absolute emergency. DIY event kit setup. So if you are using our DIY kits for your event, or you are helping somebody else set up their DIY event, this is how you will go about setting up these kits. The bins will come with 2 bins, 2 signs, and the bags. In order to set up the bins, you want to place each of the metal 3-sided pieces into the black connectors on the base. Then you will place the bag around the bin, pulling the metal rods together. And then you will take a clip and clip the sign to the bin. Then you will set up your recycle and your trash. Again, we will not have composting this year. And you will put them side by side. The Water Monster is another service that we provide at events over the summer and throughout the year. This Water Monster is a 120-gallon water storage container that allows people to bring reusable water bottles and refill them instead of using plastic water bottles. The Water Monster diverts 1,000 water bottles from the landfill per full Water Monster, ultimately reducing plastic water bottle waste significantly. So what kind of items and questions can you expect if you're working a sustainability station? Somebody might ask you why you're interested in volunteering, so please just share from your heart. They might ask, can I get compost pickup at home? You can tell them that Twin Enviro no longer offers composting services, so no, unfortunately, there is not a way to get compost pickup at home. However, we do have resources on our website at ybsc.org with alternatives for home composting. Where does the recycling go? So at our events, we will be using ACES High to collect all of our recyclable materials. Their recycling is collected at their local operation in Steamboat, and then it's taken down to Denver, where it is sorted and taken to market. Someone might ask, is it worth to recycle? The answer is yes, it's always worth to recycle, but even more than recycling, it's worth thinking about how you can reduce your waste before it is even created. For example, by using a reusable coffee cup or by using a reusable bag. And then some visitors might ask, why does my condo not have recycling? The reason that many multi-family units in Steamboat do not have recycling is because in our current ordinance, it says that single-family homes and duplexes are required to be offered free recycling services. However, multi-family homes are not included in that. Thus, many HOAs choose not to pay for recycling. How can you come prepared to work an event? You can bring a water bottle, sunscreen, a hat, snacks. You most likely won't get dirty, but just don't wear your favorite outfit. And if you're under 18, a parent will need to sign a waiver. And then, of course, we want you to bring a smile and a willingness to help our beautiful community. We will be providing gloves. So now on to how you can reduce waste at home. It's all great to work on this within our community at these events, but the real impact can be made in your own home every day. Did you know that 3.5 pounds of waste is produced per person per day? And that's an average. How do you already reduce waste at home? Take a minute to think and then see if some of these examples I'm going to give you in the next slide might resonate with you as ways that you can reduce even more waste. So here's a selection of some of my top tips for reducing waste at home. First and foremost, know the rules of recycling. If you're really into recycling and you do it on a daily basis, but you're not putting the correct things in the recycling, as I said earlier, that will unfortunately be going to the landfill. So contact your haulers if you're unsure, if you have specific questions about what can or cannot go in the recycling. Bring a reusable bag to the grocery store. This is an easy step that can help eliminate plastic bags from being in the landfill. Make a meal plan. By making a meal plan, you'll be more mindful of what items you're actually purchasing at the store. And then you have an idea and a plan for what you're going to make for dinner, and you won't let food waste or food spoil in your refrigerator at home. Or if you're going out of town, you plan what you're going to eat before you go out of town so you don't purchase too much and then have it rotting in your fridge when you get back. There are resources for reducing your food waste specifically on our website under the Waste Diversion Food Waste tab. Use reusable containers. So use reusable containers to store leftovers, coffee, lunch, etc. If you're going out for dinner, bring a reusable container with you and put your leftovers in there and take it home. Repair before you discard. So if you have a hole in a piece of clothing or any item that is ripped or maybe could be repaired, try and repair it before you're discarding it. We have a reuse and repair guide on our website under Waste Diversion Repair that gives places throughout Steamboat and Route County where you can have common items repaired. Cancel unnecessary mail. Junk mail is always annoying to get in the mail, and so if you want to stop wasting all this paper, there are many websites that you can go on to canceling your junk mail. Just like on your cell phone, when you take your cell phone number off of the no call list, you can take your address out of the no mail list. Bring a reusable water bottle to fill up. Choose products that are returnable, reusable, or refillable over a single-use item. So again, instead of using a plastic or a paper coffee cup, use a reusable coffee cup. Use a refillable water bottle instead of a plastic water bottle. Or Natural Grocers now has kombucha on tap, and so use one of their new glass bottles to buy kombucha instead of buying glass bottles every time. Purchase items without packaging. Not only does this help the environment, but it helps your health as well. So by shopping the perimeter of the grocery store, you'll be buying more items in the produce section, and that will thus be reducing the packaging that comes with buying packaged items. Buy used over new. If you don't necessarily need the newest item in the market, go to the thrift store and buy a used piece of clothing, or go online and buy used gear instead of new gear. Swap paper for cloth in the kitchen and the bathroom. Instead of using paper towels to dry your hands after you wash them in the bathroom or in the kitchen, use cloth towels. And then make your own cleaners and beauty products. Not only does this help with reducing packaging, but it also helps with household hazardous waste. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for us to dispose of household hazardous waste in our community, and many items that we use to clean our home would be considered household hazardous. So consider making your own beauty products or cleaners. There are tons of recipes online, oftentimes using vinegar, that can be used to simply swap out for those toxic chemicals that you're keeping in your home. So now you might wonder how you can get involved. Well, we have several volunteer opportunities this summer where you can volunteer at some of our sustainable events. And to find these, you can go to ybsc.org/volunteer and sign up online. Please share this knowledge. Share this link with anybody that you think might be interested in learning how to reduce waste in their home, or sharing it with other people as well. Bring zero home. So whether or not you volunteer at an event or you take this to your office and you share this knowledge at your office, bring it home, because every day we're wasting so much in our homes, and this is an easy way for you to reduce what's going to the landfill. And by reducing what's going to the landfill, you might be decreasing your trash bill. Join our mailing list. YBSC sends out a newsletter once a month, and in that you'll find upcoming events and other items that might be of interest to reducing waste and other sustainable practices. And then help secure program sponsorships. YBSC is a nonprofit, and thus we rely entirely on donations and grants. So if you're interested in sponsoring one of our programs, or your business is interested in sponsoring one of our programs, or you're just interested in being a monthly friend of YBSC donor, please go to ybsc.org/donate and think about donating online, or reach out to us at info@ybsc.org to get more information on program sponsorship opportunities. Again, thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and if you have any other questions related to waste diversion, please don't hesitate to email me at cameron@ybsc.org. Thank you.